Hi, my name is Matt. Welcome to my very first audio review. To kick things off on this channel, I'm going to be taking a look at the legendary Philips SHP9500s and finding out whether or not they're still worth buying in 2022. Let's find out. So, the SHP9500s, are they still worth it in 2022? Short answer is an emphatic yes. That's pretty much all you need to know. These are the headphones that got me into audiophilia. I was looking for good headphones and I just thought, you know what, let me try finding something a little bit higher quality than just, your stereotypical Beats headphones or the Skull Candies, just the generic stuff like that. And I stumbled upon a bunch of good reviews. These were getting really famous at the time, and I just thought, you know what, this is perfect. And it was perfect. These sound great on pretty much anything you plug them into. If all you have is a laptop or just the headphone out on your desktop, these still sound great on pretty much anything. They're easy to drive, and these do all the heavy lifting as far as audio quality goes. For just sitting and listening to music all day long, or playing games, like for gaming in these is super exciting. Like the sound stage on these it's not super wide, but it's wide enough that things sound natural. And as far as music listening goes, I mean, these will make you emotional. I listen to a little bit of classical music. I do listen to a lot of musicals, and female vocals on these sound really freaking good. I mean, these almost get holographic. I mean, something as silly as the Centaur World soundtrack sounded really good on these. Like Kimiko Glenn sounded so good on these. It was like you could hear her voice like floating in the center, and then there was just kind of this like circle of sound around the voice, and it's really fun to listen to. And I was listening to some orchestral music on these, and what was amazing listening to it was I could literally hear where each section of the orchestra was sitting. Like I could hear strings were over here, horns were over here on this side, and things just perfectly tracked across. And sometimes there will be like a drum roll that's it'll roll from left to right, and you can just hear it perfectly bounce from left to right. And these are just such a joy to listen to. And so it's just so funny to me how I went on this journey of chasing headphones, and then I just landed right back on these again. And another beautiful thing about these headphones is they scale really well as far as sources goes. The first amp DAC I bought was the Shit Full of Two, and I ran these off of that for a long time. And then eventually, being that I kind of had this like passing hobby is in music, I upgraded to the Scarlett Solo 2 for a better source. And, that was a little bit better than, just the Shit Full of Two, but, it's kind of average. And then I upgraded to the Motu M2, and, that was another bump in quality. And then recently I got the Topping L50, which I also have on my desk here. And that was like another huge bump in quality. And that was my first, super clean, very, pretty powerful amp to sit on my desk. And what I realized is these scale really well depending on what you plug them into. They sound really good if you plug them into, your laptop or your desktop headphone out. But, if you get a nice DAC amp, these will progress with you. So these are, you can get these, and these will probably last you for life. When you move to something that's higher quality, it's a diminishing return. I mean, unless you have a specific need for these, which for me as a hobbyist, I was wanting something that was more accurate but still enjoyable to listen to, so I got these. But really, for unless you're sitting down and listening critically to just doing nothing but listening to music, moving to a higher quality, like to something like within this ballpark, you're probably not going to hear it most of the time. And as far as comfort goes, these are probably some of the most comfortable headphones you can get, period. The clamp on these is super light. The pads are light. They're just generally light headphones. I mean, the only annoying part is they kind of want to fall off your head. But so, again, being that these scale so well, even if you're starting off where where all you have is just a pair of good headphones like these, as you upgrade over time, you can get a DAC amp combo that sounds good, something that's like $100, like the shit still makes the shit full of that still sounds really good. Or you could get something like the Motu M2 if you want to have something that has XLR inputs with quarter-inch inputs for instruments or microphones. The Motu M2 has a really good DAC amp in it, so it scales up with that, and then eventually, you can get something like the Topping L50, and then sky's the limit. These sound good, and these respond well to your source. But it's not a requirement. These are just a wonderful place to start. So if you're looking to get just a good pair of headphones that sound good on anything, I think you should start here. And that's one of the reasons why I still love these headphones so much. Is these kind of kicked everything off for me. This gave me that drive to want to find out what audiophilia really was and just kind of really dive into it. And the first upgrade I wanted to make past these was closed back headphones. So I got the ATH M40Xs, which are still great. There's definitely some bigger contenders out there like the Rode NTH100s, but as far as open back goes, I still really loved these. The closed back headphones, those were more just meeting a requirement for being able to travel, taking them to work, or if I don't want to hear a fan blowing or something like that. But still I still loved these. But eventually I kind of wanted to upgrade beyond that, and so I started looking into other headphone reviews, and then I discovered planar was a thing. Which, if you don't know what planar is something like these. There's a thin mylar film inside of these with a metal channel printed across them, and there's neodymium magnets, and it will basically magnetize that mylar and pull it back and forth to generate sound. And I thought planar equals better, and so I thought a planar headphone was just going to mean better than these. And so the first headphones I went to for planar were the Monoprice Monolith M1060s. And those are big headphones, and they definitely had a sound signature that I loved. I'm a big fan of V-shaped headphones. I listened to a lot of EDM, and so they were kind of like super bass heavy and exciting, and the highs were still good, but those were big headphones. They're almost a pound, like literally almost a pound, and they actually hurt my neck, like physically injured my neck. I thought it would be funny to take these like gigantic, ridiculous headphones and plug them into my Switch to play with it for a little bit. And so I played Breath of the Wild for like 45 minutes. And the problem with those headphones is they want to fall off your head. They're so heavy, like they're just trying to find the path of least resistance. And since I'm sitting on the couch looking down, that meant they wanted to slide forward. So my solution to that was to just hang them off of the crown of my head, which was my mistake. So I sat there playing that way for about 45 minutes, and then I looked up and I realized I couldn't turn my head. It hurt. So this thing physically hurt my neck. And those, a little while after that, I went to disconnect the headphone cable, and just the very tip of it, just the very tip of the audio connector stayed inside the left cup, and they were broken. They were done. And so I was like, you know what? Those hurt me. They're broken. I don't want those anymore. They're too heavy. And so I sent them back and I got a refund. And so I was looking for another pair of planars, and I landed on the Hi-Fiman HE4XXs from Drop. And these were great. They had a very non-offensive sound signature. They're very laid back. They're easy to listen to. They don't do anything offensive. I mean, they're super comfortable. These were great for all day listening. And, I've used these for the past couple of years. And these were my daily drivers. And it wasn't until recently that I started getting into a little bit of music production. Nothing serious, just like hobby type stuff. And I wanted something that was good for music production, but still enjoyable to listen to. So I upgraded to the Biodynamic DT900 Pro X's. And these are fantastic headphones. But what I realized was these are just a bit more accurate version of SHP9500s. Disaster also befell these recently. My dog got a hold of them and chewed the ear pads off of them. So these aren't even the original ear pads. These are the Dakoni pads, which sound pretty much exactly the same. But after that, I went back to these headphones after replacing the pads because I thought, hey, they're on my desk. I've replaced the pads on them. I'll just, have a listen to them for a little bit. And then I realized these are every bit as enjoyable as these are. And then I went and started listening to these again and realized I liked the SHP9500s more. So for the past, year and a half, 2 years, I've been chasing other headphones, listening to the M1060s, these, and then I came back full circle because my dog chewed these up and they survived, and I still like these more. I think that says a lot about these headphones. I've chased a lot of sound. I've chased, a lot of different headphones. I've heard a lot of different things, and I still really love listening to these all the time. And I just really like that it brought everything full circle back to me just landing on these again. And in some ways, it actually made me a little sad because I realized I had been neglecting these, and I've been out, chasing other headphones, and I still, I had these amazing headphones sitting right here the whole time. So I think for $80, when I got these, they were $60. For $80, these are some of the best headphones that you can get, up to $200. While these may be like a better headphone, what you get in these is more accuracy, a better sound for, like I said, music production. It's a slightly smaller soundstage. That's, because you don't want anything too wide as far as when you're doing like mixing and mastering. And really, these are a super enjoyable headphone to listen to. So I still think these are absolutely worth buying in 2022. I think these are some of the best headphones you can get under $200. Like I said, when you're going up from here, you're getting into diminishing returns. If you're just getting into headphones, I think these are probably one of the best headphones you can start with, period. They're $80. They sound good on everything. They make pretty much most of your music sound good. Sometimes when you get into the more accurate headphones, you can hear recording quality isn't as great. These are just fun to listen to all the time. So that's it. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments. I'll try to respond to those. Please like and subscribe. It feels weird to say, but again, this is my first video. I'm sorry if it's a little bit awkward, but I'm getting started and I'm excited about it, and thank you so much for watching.